Dear brothers and sisters, dear friends and guests, and dear bereaved family, firstly, I just wish to convey my sincere condolences on behalf of the congregation, the connected congregation here, and also from our dear apostle to you as a family today. So for this memorial divine service, we have a Bible word out of James 2. We read the verses 15 to 17 and a portion of verse 18. If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, "Depart in peace, be warmed and filled," but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Does also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead? Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. Jacobus 2, die verse 15 en 17 en 'n gedeelte van vers 18. As daar nou 'n broeder of suster naak is en aan die daaglikse voedsel gebreek het, en een uit hulle sou vir hulle sê, "Gaan heen en vrede, word warm, word versadig, maar julle gee hulle nie wat vir die liggaam nodig is nie, wat baat dit? Net so is ook die geloof, as dit geen werke het nie, is sigself dood. Maar iemand sal sê, en ek toon my geloof uit jou werke, en ek sal jou uit my werke my geloof toon." So ver. The obituary of Ashwynn Du Toit. Ashwynn was born in Paarl on the 5th of December 1983 and immediately became the life of the family. He stayed with his brother Cyril when his mom and sister moved to Belleville, and after school went to stay with Pauline. He attended school at Paulus Joubert Primary and completed his schooling at the technical school in Labouré, Paarl. It was evident that Ashwynn liked working with his hands, and Pauline says he had two objectives: to speak English and to work on cars. The passion he had for his handwork was found in the fact that he made a handmade gift on each anniversary, the last being a coffee table, which granted took at least a year to complete. Ashwynn studied fitting and turning at Wingfield College and never liked his first job, where Pauline had to chase him out of bed constantly. Ashwynn started his apprenticeship with Printech in Cape Town, where he experienced a tough relationship with his boss, Yusuf. But with guidance from his family and the ministers, he stuck it out, and in the end, Yusuf became like a second father to him. His first call was for CTP printers, and he made a huge impression with this, and after he completed his trade test, they asked him to move to Durban, as his skills were needed there. He relocated to KZN in 2012, and thereafter accepted a new job in Heidelberg Graphics 2017, and Leger then moved to Johannesburg. Ashwynn joined the New Apostolic Church Paro congregation in 2005 and was ordained as a deacon on the 1st of March 2017. He served diligently and faithfully until his relocation, and was an avid choir member and enthusiastic youth leader during this time. In all decisions and desires that Ashwynn had or made, he always sought the Lord's blessing and would take advice given by the ministers without question. He was taught by his family to always put the Lord first. Ashwynn looked at after his niece and nephew, Dylan and Erin, in such an exemplary manner, and could always be seen bringing them to church for Sunday school. Ashwynn had a good voice and was always called upon to sing solos or assist with the choir. He also loved slap chips and avocado pears. There's a saying that says, "Avocado pear maak jy hare meer." So I didn't know, because he loved his hair. That was one of the things that he loved. Ashwynn met and befriended Leger through her cousin Constant. He visited her household under the guise of being friends with Constant, but as soon became obvious that while maintaining his friendship with Constant, he had ulterior motives leading to his relationship with Leger. The love and mutual interest in music was a catalyst for their relationship and continued to be throughout their time together. Ashwynn and Leger were married in Paro congregation on the 2nd of August 2014. Ashwynn, it seems, met his match as Leger was able to get him to cut his hair, which was a huge trademark for Ashwynn. Even the stylist had to inquire before cutting whether he was sure he wanted to cut his hair, but it made it obvious that it was not the choice he had. Regardless of all Ashwynn's achievements and successes, his true success or achievement laid in his personality. He had a very laid-back, humble, honest, and caring demeanor, which was rare for someone his age, and in the time that we live, many would refer to him as an old soul. It became a great attraction to anyone who came into contact with him. Ashwynn would help anyone who needed it and could never refuse anyone's requests, especially those done in the service of our Heavenly Father. He availed himself selflessly. Leger accepted and loved this aspect of him. Ashwynn's mom, Auntie Katie, says that he provided so much for her, he spoiled her as much as what his resources would allow. And she says that if it wasn't for him, she would never have seen as many places as she did, as he took her everywhere when he could. She reflected that he didn't like tardiness and people who broke their promises. He once drove away from his brother as he was late. The seniors in all the congregations he attended would always call him their boyfriend. And this was his nature. When one sister recently got angry with him as he could not sing for her, he made a point of providing her with a chocolate so that she would forgive him. Ashwynn passed away on Thursday, the 22nd of July, after a brief battle with COVID, and leaves a beautiful legacy of what it truly means to love your neighbor. Dear bereaved family, friends and guests, I had to smile now because on Thursday evening, and I'm sure Ashwynn is also smiling now with this hymn when we walk with the Lord, because often when he used to go and sing with the youth, and then that would be the hymn that they would sing, and then he said, "Are we going to sing it again?" You know, because that was one that was commonly known. But indeed, that encapsulates his life, is that the fact that he always walked with God in every aspect, in everything that he did, he walked with God. This morning, when we look at this Bible word, for me, it truly encapsulates the life of Ashwynn, how he lived his life. And here with James as the brother of Jesus, is very instructional. He gives us an instruction that we need to take into our lives. And I can say that Ashwynn truly fulfilled this instruction. And we heard the 15th verse. It says, if a brother or his sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one says to the one, depart in peace, be warmed and filled, but you do not give them things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? And said to the priest, early hours of this morning, I prayed and I said, God, allow your Spirit to comfort this congregation. But then I also called out to Ashwynn. I said, Ashwynn, you need to help me this morning. And I said to the priest, and I didn't know, and then this illustration came to me in Afrikaans. And as you could hear when I was reading the Afrikaans, I struggled with my Afrikaans. But this illustration came to me in Afrikaans, and I said, Ashwynn, is that you now, or is it God? But I want to give you this illustration because often when we read these words, we said, yeah, it makes sense. Who would go and speak to somebody and the person tells that person, I've got nothing, and then you say, go your way, be home, and do what you need to do. And then this illustration came into my heart early hours of the morning, and it was in Afrikaans, and it's a geselskap teen, 'n oproep geselskap tussen twee mense. En die oproep gaan en dit sê, and I didn't know why Auntie Tilly, so if there's Auntie Tilly, I didn't know, but this name came to heart as well. And die persoon bel, en hy sê, die persoon vra Auntie Tilly, hoe gaan dit? En Auntie Tilly sê, man, dit gaan baie swaar. 'n Druk op die oomblik. Die kinders werkie, ek werkie, daar's niks in die koskassie. En die ander persoon antwoord, Auntie Tilly, moet jy hoor nie. Die Here gaan voorsiening maak. Auntie Tilly moet nie worry nie. Ek gaan vir Auntie Tilly bid. And when we think about this in our context, beloved brothers and sisters, yes, when we hear the words of James and says what we should not do, but how often is it that not what we do? When we speak to one or the other, and the other one says, this is my challenge that I'm going through, this is my pain, this is my suffering, this is my sorrow that I'm going through. And then we would echo these words and say, don't worry, God will make provision. Absolutely, God will make provision. Absolutely, God will hear your prayer. But God expects us to do more than that. When we love our neighbor, we need to do more than that. You cannot just say, I remember you in prayer. And was that not the life of Ashwynn? How he lived his life. It was not just the words that he portrayed. It was fulfilled in his actions. And then, when we read the 18th portion, it says, you have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. And that struck me. And maybe today, that's what Ashwynn places to you and I today and say, because I know he also loved challenges, he loved taking this, he was trying to build it, no, you're not trying. He built a 3D printer, but he was trying to program it, and he just needed more time to complete the programming of the printer, but he built it. But there was other challenges that we cannot refer to also now when he goes hunting, that he would do certain things. And today, I just want to say to you, today, the challenge for us is that it says, show me your faith. Show me your faith. And how am I going to show my faith? And the answer comes here. I will show you my faith by my works. My faith must be evident in the works that I do. And was that not the life of Ashwynn? That his faith was visible to all. And then we come to all of this. Then we can say, love costs. There is a cost to love. And now I'm not talking about buying love. I'm not talking about a feeling that we experience when we experience something tangible or something is given. That's not the love that is referred to here. When the love of God, when we love God that is born out of faith, that's the love that it's referring to. The love that has been poured into your and my heart through the love of God, through Jesus Christ. When we experience that love, when we understand that love, when we are moved by that love, it naturally compels us to do works for our neighbor. That's what it does. When we understand it, and when we are moved by the saving love that God has called us by that which God has redeemed us out of, if we understand it, then we are compelled naturally to do that. Then we start to live the life of Jesus Christ. Then, beloved brothers and sisters, dear friends, we then, when fellow mankind comes and engage, we then experience Jesusly moments. And what is these Jesusly moments? Jesusly moments are when Jesus is present. And we can think about it in that context. Ashwynn was always present. He was present in the sorrow. He was present in the joy. He was present in the care that was needed for others. Always listening. Always availing himself. Always caring. Always bringing others in to his circle. Inviting them into his circle. Inviting them into his life. Giving them hope. Making them feel special. Because those are all the comments that come out of the life, and they say, I've just encountered him once, and then this is how special he made me feel. Because he was present in the life of his fellow mankind. That change to the point that I understand that one of the senior sisters in the congregation on a Sunday would even bring him milk tart. Now, we don't do the work so that we can get the milk tart on a Sunday. Absolutely not. But that's just how he made others feel. They felt so special because he gave them an ear. And I think even, I don't know if some of the tannies were possibly watching him going to work and when he was coming home, but Lejeune would say that she would sometimes just get a knock on the door and then she thinks it's for her, but they'd say, "Is your man by die huis?" They weren't worried about her, they were worried about Ashwynn. And Lejeune, I just hope that they still come knocking on your door, even in his absence. But that's how he made them feel. That's when you're present. That's when Jesus Christ lives through you. This is when love is born out of you and you touch others. So love cost. Beloved brothers and sisters, friends, love cost. Now again I say, not buying things. I'm not referring to the buying. Love costs because it has to be meaningful. It has to be intentional. Love must be inconvenience. Now you might say, wait, just hold on. How can it be inconvenience? It must be a joyful inconvenience. But then again, I hear the word inconvenience, and in the world that we live in, who wants to be inconvenient? Everything that is designed in this world is almost designed to our convenience. We can buy food online. You don't even have to get out of bed nowadays. You can switch your lights off with using your phone. Everything is geared towards convenience. But love is inconvenience. But it's a joyful love that comes through that inconvenience. There must be a cost to me when I show this love. It's a cost of time. It's a cost of sacrifice. It's a cost of giving up. It's a cost of listening and keeping quiet. It's the cost of making and helping my brother and my sister, my neighbor, feel special, to give them hope. I need to do that. And just think about it. This cost of love, we must have something to give. You must have something to give to someone else. And was it not so? The cost of love was greatly demonstrated in John 3 verse 16. That God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. The cost of love for God, for all mankind, was love. And He gave His Son to demonstrate that love. It came at a cost. It came at an inconvenience. Jesus had to leave this kingdom that He lived peacefully with His Father. He had to come on this earth. He had to live in pain. He had to live in rejection. He had to live in suffering. He had no home. Because He loved. And He joyfully did this. And so you and I need to do this as well. But I can also assure you that when we do this love that will cost us, we will never ever come short. Because it's the love that comes from God. It is the true love that is born out of our belief in our Lord Jesus Christ. Then we will never come short. Then while preparing, I just thought, you know what? Ashwynn understood this secret of the cost of love. And why I say that? Because when Ashwynn gave, when Ashwynn shared, when he listened, he knew that there was a cost to himself, but he also knew that God would touch his life, but also the life of the other person that was the recipient of the love that was being experienced. And thus it became a double blessing for him, because he saw how God touched his life. He saw what it meant to the other. He saw how it changed the other person's life. So it became a double blessing. And hence he would not let go of this double blessing. Hence his nature was of such that he would just give and share and care. That's what he did. This double blessing. Then you might say, but how do you know? How do you know it's evident? Give you a few examples. Evident in his life. His lunch, whenever he goes out to eat, and yeah, I contemplated this, and I'm not sure now, whenever he went out, because he always had a doggy bag. So I'm not sure whether he ordered extra for the person outside, or where he consciously just ate half, and then he kept the other half thinking that I need to consider someone else. Because the same concept with his lunch at work. And because one of the principles that he always had is that what you and I would call a doggy bag, he would always consider the person outside. He would always take what was left or what he possibly intentionally wanted to have left over to ensure that he could share with others. And before he even gets to the car, he'd make sure that somebody else had something to eat. He always did that. So again, I say I'm not sure whether he intentionally just sat there and said, half I must keep for somebody else. But that was the same with his lunch at work. So I didn't know if he needed to pack in extra lunch. He did say maybe pack in another 2 sandwiches. To the point where he actually gave the Tupperware away as well. Not only the bread that was in the Tupperware, not only the food, he used to give the Tupperware away. And Lejeune would say to him, no, that's now enough. I'm going to wrap your bread in something else. And they started making fun of him at work because he no longer had the Tupperware. But what does it mean? What was the cost to him? That his fellow mankind, it was not just about giving him something to eat, but to know that he feels dignified, to know that he feels valued, to know that he's also important or she's important. That's what was born out of that cost of love. And that's what we need to do. It's not just about giving. It's about how it makes and how it makes the other person feel. Was that not the life of Jesus Christ? Is that not what God intended for us? It's not just about doing this good works. Because remember, good works on itself does not save us. Good works on itself does not save us. It is the grace of God that saves us. But it's our faith that is demonstrated through these works. And then he would also show no prejudice, no judgment. He was free, he was easy, he embraced everybody. And I think that's what just attracted people to him, because he was just so easy. And dear friends and family and brothers and sisters, you may or may not know this, but Ashwynn was actually a shy person. And I can hear many of you saying, no, it cannot be true. Not the way he laughed, not the way he spoke. But he was a shy person. And then when you realize that he was a shy person, think about it. What it took for him to come over to you to speak to you. What it took for him to embrace you. What it took for him just to encourage. He put himself out there. And it was not easy. It seemed easy because he loved. Because he understood the blessing that came with it. And so we should do the same. No prejudice, no judgment. Elijah would say that they would walk in the malls and then people would look at them. And then she would say to him, can you see everybody looking at us? Then he says, no, man. And I had to smile because then he would just say, they're just looking at me because I'm beautiful. You know, no prejudice, no judgment. But no, Elijah, I wasn't sure whether he flicked his hair at that moment as well. You know, when he said, I'm just beautiful. I just saw this image come to mind when I saw that. But easy, open, not concerned about anything else. That all comes with the cost of love. When we understand this cost of love. He was always patient, always willing to help. And the Omi that lived close to them would often come and say, I got a problem with my phone. He comes Monday, he'll maybe come on Wednesday again, and he'll come on Friday again and Saturday again. Ashwynn was patient, was happy to help, availed himself. That's what we need to do. Be patient, Learn to understand one another. Because often we have defined ways, we understand what we want to do, and then we expect others to be exactly the same. We have the same expectation of others. That's not what it should be. When we are patient, when we understand, we bear with one another. And so also his love for music. He understood this love for music. He understood how it touched the hearts. He understood how it changed lives. So he was a perfectionist when it came to that, very hard on himself when things didn't go well. Because again, he knew he just wanted to do the best for others. And so today, Ashwynn places this challenge to us and say, and Auntie Kate, you can be proud of him today, where we can absolutely say that Ashwynn can say today, I showed my faith through my works. That's what you can be absolutely proud of. He showed his faith through his works. And now it's left for you and I. The time that God has given us. What are you going to do? How are you going to demonstrate this faith? And so he puts this challenge to you and I. Show your faith through your works. Amen. Thank you, beloved brothers and sisters. Please be seated. Then we have a musical item that we will conclude with, and then thereafter there's a eulogy that has been prepared by Jacques, and he will come forward to the front thereafter.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to speak in English, not because I cannot speak Afrikaans, but it will probably just be a little bit easier for the occasion. I'm very honored to share a few words with you as a family and also friends, and to all those who are connected. It is my honor to tell you that Ashwynn was a very, very amazing person. I don't have to tell you, but I want to tell you that. I look at him that he is a real gift from God. No matter how you look at it, he is a gift from God. He was, and you know, a gift is something which you received, something that you don't deserve. Sometimes you don't pay for. It is just there for you for the taking. And he was one of those. He came into our lives. He touched us in a very special manner. And you know, if you don't unwrap a gift, you will never know what's in it. You will never know how to respond or to react when you see it. And this is what he did. He came in our lives and he unwrapped, he afforded us to unwrap this beautiful love which we heard of today. An amazing love. A love which everybody can give testimony of. Everyone can. I'm not going to elaborate on that. On the other hand, he gave us, as we unwrapped, we found this gift of life. This man lived his life. Trust me, he lived his life. There's a lot of things which we cannot say here, but I want to tell you two things which I had I laughed. The day when I found out, he approached his father-in-law. You know, he wanted to marry Lisa, and he approached this man, you know where? Not in a coffee shop. He went to the fishery. The man is there working with hot oil and everything. He could have been burned at the moment. But he went. He was brave. He went and he wanted to tell this man, you know, I love your daughter a lot. The uncle had to tell him, you know what, I'll speak to you later. Maybe he said it because he was really busy or because he was panicking. But this is how brave Ashwynn was in general. And another thing, we went to a social one. This is how we lived. It was very, very humorous. And we got there and he had this lovely t-shirt on. I'm not saying lovely because it was a good quality or I could see it was expensive. No. But you know what it was? It was a black t-shirt with white print all over it. And guess what it says? Ek sal nooit dronk word nie. Ek sal nooit dronk word nie. Ek sal nooit. Dit was reg oor die t-shirt geskryf. Want dit was hy. Hy was 'n grapjas. And then, just the last point. Another one of those things we found as we unwrapped him as a gift. He was very, very loyal. He was loyal to everyone. Start with his mother and father and everybody down the line, as we heard, to the nephews and the nieces. Okay. He was a special person. We heard today the price for love has been paid for by our Lord. Okay. God has sent him into our life as a gift. Unwrap him and take it for you and take it with you. Okay. And may I conclude by saying, as a mother and a father, as a wife, as friends, okay, as acquaintance, always let your memory of love, let your memory of life, and let your memory of loyalty be of this young man, Ashwynn, our friend. Okay? Thank you. Thank you so much. And do I conclude with the thanks? Yes, please. I was also asked to convey the thanks of the family to you, and I will read it as it's printed here. We, the family of Ashwynn Du Toit, wish to express our heartfelt thanks to all our dear friends, neighbors, office bearers, and family for their love, their support, and compassion during our time of bereavement. May God bless you. And in that, I also would like to include the thanks of the medical staff in their absence, because they have tried their best and always give their best in order to care for us and our health. Thank you so very much.